Hi guys, welcome to Midnight Anime Library.
If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. It really helps the channel grow.
Your support means everything, so hit that button and let me know what you want to see next. Please ignore images. The Day the World Learns Saitama is the strongest. Part 3 Chapter 21, Low Offensiveness, Maximum Insult. Z City Ghost Town. Monster Association Underground Headquarters. After watching Saitama's performance on the screen, the monsters trembled all over, all of them pondering how to stay far away from Saitama. Unfortunately, they didn't know that they lived right underneath Saitama's apartment.
One could only say, fate brings people together from 1,000 miles away, but without it, they won't meet even when face to face.
This Baldy is too terrifying. Have you guys noticed? It seems like he beats everyone with just one punch. What caped Baldy? He's practically a one-punch man. Could there be some secret inside his gloves? I think the secret is hidden in his crotch, it's bulging so much. There's something wrong with you. At this time, the usually taciturn Orochi spoke up and asked, which of you will go and steal the Baldy's gloves and underwear? Ha! The monsters looked at each other in dismay. Lord Orochi has this kind of hobby? Actually, they misunderstood.
This wasn't Orochi's idea, but a suggestion from the strategist Joro, conveyed through Orochi.
Because it also suspected that Saitama's gloves held a secret. As for the underwear,
Psychos simply wanted to collect them, she had no other intentions. Unfortunately, the monsters gathered and discussed for a long time, only to find that no one dared to steal Saitama's things. Even Black Sperm, who could divide infinitely, didn't dare to go. If it were caught and took a punch, even its tens of trillions of cells wouldn't be enough to survive. Now, they could only pin their hopes on Boros being able to defeat
Saitama. But then again, if Boros defeated Saitama, would they become the next targets? Holy crap!
They were stuck between a rock and a hard place. At this moment, the video started playing again.
In the footage, Garibas used telepathy to warn Saitama through a long-distance mental transmission. Intruder, I warn you, stop your destructive actions immediately and get off the ship. Warning again, get off the ship immediately. Otherwise, we will deploy all our forces to eliminate you. Saitama stood at a fork in the road, digging his ear with a confused expression. What's going on?
The voice is going straight into my head.
Garibas' voice came again. If you dare to take another step forward, I'll destroy you. Saitama shouted loudly, I'm lost. Even if I wanted to go back, I can't find the exit. Hearing Saitama say he wanted to leave, Garibas was overjoyed. You want to go back? I see, I'll give you directions. First, go to the right, walk to the end, and go down the stairs. Saitama glanced to the right. The right? Correct. The right.
Unexpectedly, Saitama's art style suddenly changed. A sinister smile appeared on his face, and his voice became eerie. Then I'll choose the left.
Hearing this, Garibas immediately panicked. Ah! Shadow Matt. You bastard. You dare. Matt. Shadow Matt, you can't go that way. I was wrong, it's my fault. I'll come to meet you right now, please just stop for a moment. Stop. Yamit.
Garibas let out a shrill scream, like a commoner encountering a bear in the city.
That kind of despair could be clearly felt by the audience even through the screen. Unfortunately, no matter how much it screamed its throat raw, Saitama remained unmoved, even carrying a foolish smile on his face. The offensiveness was low, but the insult was at maximum level. Just like that, Saitama met no obstacles along the way and successfully broke into the command room.
At this point, the video ended.
After watching this segment, all of humanity almost died of laughter. To be honest, Saitama's foolishness was quite eerie if used against his own people. But using it against an enemy? That was truly satisfying. Look at that octopus, it was scared out of its wits. Ha ha ha. I'm dying of laughter.
This immortal guiding the way move from the octopus made my scalp tingle.
What's even funnier is that the octopus specifically shouted Yamete. I only get to hear that word when I go to Okubo to save fallen girls. I didn't expect to hear it from an alien today. It felt so good I almost finished. I finished. My hands are full now. You prankster, stop messing around. To be fooled so thoroughly by Saitama, that octopus is quite the genius too. Saitama-sensei's innocent smile just now has been screenshotted. If you want it, please add me. Ha, as a bald egg fan of Saitama, I finally feel vindicated. I didn't dare tell anyone I was a Saitama fan before, fearing they'd say I'm foolish. Now it's fine, I can finally proudly announce that I am a bald egg fan. Bald egg fan +1. Bald egg fan plus 10,086. However, where some were happy, others were worried. Seeing Saitama showing off all sorts of moves in the spaceship and taking all the spotlight. What about herself? She could only play with rocks on the ground. Looking at it this way, her battle record was far worse than that Baldy's. Will I still be able to hold my head high in front of that Baldy in the future? Tatsumaki gritted her teeth secretly, feeling frustrated. If Saitama heard her inner thoughts, he would surely comfort her by saying, "Don't worry, whether you puff out your chest or not, the effect is the same, others won't be able to tell anyway." The video continued playing. In the footage, Saitama found the command room and smashed the door open with a punch, barging in. At first glance, he saw an octopus? How dare you run wild on my ship? Unforgivable. As soon as the words fell, Garibas's entire body erupted with rainbow-colored light. Terrifying psychokinetic power exploded, carrying countless pieces of rubble and shooting them fiercely at Saitama. What's going on? Pebbles are flying over. Saitama stood in place, not dodging at all, letting the rubble hit his body, yet he remained completely unharmed. You fellow, let me, the universe's #1 telekinetic master, Lord Garibas, crush you into meat paste. At this moment, the terrifying aura displayed by Garibas made even the watching Tatsumaki, Fubuki, and psychos feel a surge of immense pressure. This octopus is not simple. Saitama, on the other hand, looked like a curious baby. Telekinesis? Is that a type of superpower? Seeing that Saitama was still unharmed, Garibas was stunned, then became secretly annoyed. In that case, there's no choice. Telekinetic gravitational wave. As soon as it said this, the other aliens were shocked and scrambled to hide under their instruments. Die, Earthling. Garibas's eyes glowed, and its entire body erupted with a massive telekinetic force 10 times stronger than before, forming a terrifying supergravity field. V-Room. In an instant, the entire command room was enveloped, and countless alien small fry were instantly pinned to the ground. The ground under Saitama's feet was even more exaggerated, with a giant crater being pressed directly into it. One must know that the hardness of this floor was comparable to superalloy. It was easy to imagine how terrifying this gravity was. Seeing this, the audience couldn't help but start worrying about Saitama. But they failed to notice the details hidden within the devilish scene. For example, the ground was crushed and collapsed. But what about Saitama? He stood there straight as a soldier. Why was he still able to stand? Chapter 22, Strong to an Incomprehensible Degree. My super strong telekinesis can manipulate gravity. You know about black holes, right? In the face of gravity at the level of a black hole, even light cannot escape. However, as Garibas was speaking, he noticed something was wrong. Why is this Baldy still standing? I clearly set the gravity output to maximum power. And this still can't shake this Baldy? Impossible. Garibas immediately lost his composure. Boom! He unleashed his full power, manipulating the surrounding debris. The debris spun crazily, and amidst flashes of lightning and thunder, it formed an incredibly violent storm of debris. Even Saitama was blown back 2 steps by this storm. Seeing this, Saitama was somewhat speechless. What is this one this time? Take this, telekinetic rock barrage. Garibas roared.
In an instant, the debris turned into beams of golden light, shooting out from within the storm. Under the enhancement of the storm's kinetic energy, the destructive power of the golden light was comparable to actual beams of light, piercing directly through the command room.
Oomph, this time for sure.
Looking at the smoke and dust filling the front, Garou revealed a smile.
But in the next second, his smile instantly froze. Adhering to the no damage if there's smoke law, Saitama, unsurprisingly, remained completely unscathed.
Holding a pebble, Saitama looked puzzled. I'm telling you, just throwing little pebbles is a huge waste of superpowers.
Who can't do something like that?
After saying this, Saitama casually flicked the pebble in his hand.
Whoosh!
That terrifying impact force instantly pierced Garou's head in two.
The entire process was so fast that even the slow-motion video couldn't capture a trace of it. Garou's actually.
With the octopus guy falling, the video came to an end. After watching this scene, the emotions of the audience worldwide could not calm down for a long time.
First of all, what shocked everyone wasn't Saitama, but Garou's.
They never expected that this octopus guy would be the #1 telekinesis master in the universe. Usually, if they heard someone claiming to be the best in
the universe, everyone would definitely scoff.
However, after seeing the terrifying telekinesis displayed by the octopus guy, everyone was speechless. Even those skilled in telekinesis, like Tatsumaki, Fubuki, and Psychos, dared not claim they could defeat the octopus guy.
Yet, such a powerful telekinesis master couldn't last a single round under Saitama. Moreover, what was even more heart-wrenching was that Saitama only used a single pebble.
The whole performance was too childish. It was as if he was just playing with stones.
He might as well have shouted "Goo Goo Ga" after playing.
All signs indicated that it wasn't that the octopus guy was weak, but that Saitama was too strong.
Strong to an incomprehensible degree. Screen chat box. Atomic Samurai, this alien octopus looks like a chump, but he's actually terrifyingly strong. Aside from Tatsumaki, I doubt many S-class heroes could beat him. Silver Fong, that's right.
Although I don't want to admit it, in the face of that kind of supergravity, all attacks, strength, and speed become ineffective.
Super Alloy Darkshine, I wonder whose telekinesis is stronger, his or Tatsumaki-chan's.
Prisoner, although Tatsumaki is strong, I feel the octopus guy has the edge. Child Emperor, Tatsumaki can manipulate matter, but she cannot manipulate gravity, so I think the octopus guy is stronger.
Tatsumaki, who said I can't manipulate gravity? Why don't you guys come try it out? Child Emperor, comment deleted. Whether the octopus guy or Tatsumaki was stronger while he was alive is something everyone couldn't determine.
But after the octopus guy died, Tatsumaki's position as the #1 in telekinesis was firmly secured.
Come to think of it, Tatsumaki should thank Saitama. The video played again. On screen.
The battle between the four, including Silver Fong and Melzergaard, had reached a white-hot stage. At this moment, the four of them had discovered a weakness in Melzergaard's regeneration. There were glass marbles
inside Melzergaard's body. As long as they were shattered, the clones would completely dissipate and could not regenerate.
After discovering this weakness, the four, including Silver Fong, began targeted strikes, eventually succeeding in killing Melzergaard until only 2 clones remained.
Bang! Prisoner seized the advantage, grabbing the tentacle Melzergaard extended. Great grab!
Silver Fong seized the opportunity, moving like a rabbit and rushing like lightning. He leaped up quickly, his fingertips wrapped in flowing water energy, piercing out like a long spear.
In just an instant, he pierced through Melzergaard's head and grabbed the glass marble inside. Found it, shatter. Only one left.
Silver Fong jumped onto a giant rock behind him and decisively crushed the glass marble with his fingers. Accompanied by a crack sound, Melzergaard had only 1 life left.
Damn it!
Seeing himself forced into a desperate situation, Melzergaard roared immediately, unleashing all his power and swinging a tentacle hammer with extreme speed. But Silver Fong had just turned around, so his reaction was a beat slow, and he was instantly hit by the heavy hammer.
Bang bang bang!
Silver Fong let out a muffled groan, his whole body blasted dozens of meters away, smashing through several buildings along the way, and finally crashing into the ruins, his life or death unknown.
Atomic Samurai's face changed, and he shouted, "Silver Fong!" Ian was horrified. He took a hit head-on? Seeing this, Melzergaard laughed wildly. Ha! Fragile. Too fragile. You are all so vulnerable, one hit and you die. Turns out cleaning you up is so simple. As long as I don't defend and focus on attacking, I can finish you all off very quickly. Next is you. Melzergaard wore a ferocious grin, walking step by step toward Atomic Samurai. At this point, the video ended. If one could say that Saitama slaughtering his way through the spaceship made all of humanity excited in feeling that victory was in sight. Then, Silver Fong's accidental death poured a bucket of cold water on everyone. At this moment, the people in major cities were silent, as if mourning for Silver Fong. In a certain park, Garou, who was learning Saitama's training method, laughed out loud when he saw Silver Fong get blasted away. Being able to see the old man get thwarted, he was naturally happy. Unlike the others, he didn't think Silver Fong would die. Given the old man's physical condition, that little attack was only enough to loosen his bones. So, he wasn't worried at all that Silver Fong would die. In contrast, Atomic Samurai was furious. Damn it! Silver Fong, I will definitely avenge you. Silver Fong, who was next to him, replied helplessly, I'm not dead yet. Atomic Samurai paused, feeling a bit awkward. Sorry, I got too into it and forgot for a moment that this is footage from the future. Don't mind me, but I am sincere. Sigh, thanks a lot. Silver Fong sighed. What else could he say? Atomic Samurai's words clearly indicated that he thought he was a goner in the future. But Silver Fong didn't think so. Although Melzergaard's attacks were strong, his own martial arts weren't practiced for nothing. It was just a mere heavy hammer strike. He could treat it as a massage or chiropractic adjustment, which would just help loosen his bones. To make me die, they've still got a long way to go. But Silver Fong didn't say it directly. If he ended up eating his words, how embarrassing would that be? It's better to be steady in life. Chapter 23, Experience wins the day. Silver Fong had already sacrificed himself, and as for the other three S-class heroes, facing Melzergaard's all-out counterattack, it was likely also looking grim for them. For a moment, everyone took out their mobile phones or high-definition cameras, wanting to record the video. Then, they could use this to analyze Melzergaard's weaknesses in order to defeat it in the future and turn the tide of the situation. Seemingly sensing the public's needs, the intelligent AI Dobao, which managed the screen, issued a world announcement. AI Dobao, to enhance the viewing experience for the audience, the screen will now open the following new features for viewers. 1. Every registered account can post comment barrages within the video, as well as like, bookmark, share, and tip the video. 2. Every registered account can use their intent to take a screenshot of any frame in the video, create memes, and store the data in their mind. 3. Every registered account can use their intent to cache the video, but it requires a significant amount of mental energy, so please use this feature with caution. 4. The screen has added a search function. Previously played videos have been stored in the library. Viewers who want to watch them can search on their own by using their intent to input information related to the video to find it. The audience, upon receiving the world announcement, rejoiced and highly praised the screen's user-friendliness. In this way, they wouldn't have to miserably hold up their phones to record the video. Additionally, everyone was very interested in the other new features and began to research them deeply using their intent. Just as everyone was researching, a new round of the video began. On screen, Melzergaard grinned hideously and walked slowly towards Atomic Samurai to kill him. I'm going to jump in front of you and smash your head in with mine. Come and try it if you have the guts. Atomic Samurai's expression was stern, the cold glint in his eyes almost tangible, and his entire body was surrounded by an invisible, yet terrifyingly chilling sword aura. Die. Melzergaard felt a chill in its heart, realizing it couldn't let Atomic Samurai continue to build up momentum, so it launched an attack first.
Its right arm transformed into a sharp spike and stabbed toward Atomic Samurai at extreme speed.
Facing such an attack, Atomic Samurai
was not afraid in the slightest, drawing his sword and slicing it off instantly. But to everyone's surprise, the severed spike split again, turning into countless branching spikes that continued to stab toward Atomic Samurai.
He. Die.
Melzergard's smile became even more hideous, as if it could already see the image of Atomic Samurai being pierced through.
Clang. 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 Clang.
Atomic Samurai swung his blade like lightning, unleashing thousands of slashes within a second, instantly cutting off all the incoming spikes. Seeing that the spikes were still splitting, Atomic Samurai quickly retreated, his eyes bloodshot, his killing intent boiling. You bastard, looks like you're having a lot of fun.
The outcome will be decided soon.
Melzergard laughed wildly without stopping.
Ugh.
Suddenly, a dull sound came from behind. Melzergard was stunned and turned its head in disbelief.
It saw that the old man it had just knocked away hadn't died?
At this moment, Silver Fong had taken off his shirt, revealing a body covered in scars and exceptionally powerful muscles.
My shoulders don't ache as much anymore.
That said, I'm still quite rusty.
Silver Fong moved his body while walking slowly toward Melzergard. Damn you, you're still alive. After its shock, a strong killing intent surged from Melzergard. Hey! Where are you looking?
But just at this moment, Atomic Samurai's cold voice and terrifying killing intent came from behind. Melzergard was startled, and just as it wanted to make a move, in the next second, Atomic Samurai had already drawn his sword and unleashed his ultimate move.
Atomic. Slash. Clang. 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 Clang.
The video screen went black instantly, then endless blade lights flashed, with dense slash lines covering Melzergard's entire body. Soon, the video resumed.
By then, Atomic Samurai had already appeared on the other side.
As for Melzergard, its entire body had been dismembered, turning into countless
fragments that fell to the ground. Don't get cocky. Don't get cocky.
Melzergard roared repeatedly, countless fragments turning into a blood mist storm, preparing to regenerate. But at this moment, Silver Fong had already arrived deep inside the blood mist storm and said calmly, usually, to hide the location of your heart, you let it wander around, but when your body regenerates, it always starts from the head, and the heart is right in the center of the head.
Put.
Before the words had even faded, Silver Fong's palm had pierced through Melzergard's head, successfully retrieving the glass bead hidden within. After watching it so many times, even a monkey would know how to play.
Look, checkmate. Damn it.
Melzergard let out a roar of frustration. Silver Fong didn't indulge it at all, he directly exerted force with 2 fingers and crushed the glass bead.
With that, Melzergard was completely annihilated.
Atomic Samurai sheathed his sword and grinned, I only needed one more slash, stop meddling, Silver Fong. Silver Fong rubbed his waist with a relaxed expression, yar, sometimes I still have to stretch my muscles.
Ian was shocked from behind, was this old man's body made of iron?
With this, all the heads have been dealt with, we have achieved victory for now. Prisoner looked excited, so excited that even the mosaic below kept changing shapes. Metal Bat, however, wasn't so optimistic. He looked up at the spaceship above with a grave expression, there's still a bigger guy up there that hasn't been dealt with. With that, the video ended. All of humanity cheered one after another.
Too strong. As expected of the third-ranked S-Class hero, Silver Fong.
A mere fatal injury only makes his shoulders ache, it's not worth mentioning. Before, I didn't understand the gap between S-Class and A-Class, but now I do.
They are completely on different dimensions. Experience truly wins the day. By comparison, Ian is practically made of glass. Ian, stop roasting me, stop roasting me.
Although Silver Fong's performance this time was brilliant, when they thought of the great demon king Saitama, who was already mowing down enemies inside the spaceship and easily killing strong enemies of the same level as Melzergard in seconds, countless people wisely chose to shut up. They didn't even post comments in the screen's chat box, so as not to hurt old man Silver Fong's feelings.
They are all human, so why is the gap so big? It's no wonder everyone thinks this way. Saitama's performance is truly inhuman. It's too heaven-defying. Why didn't they notice this bald egg before?
Logically speaking, since Saitama possesses such heaven-defying strength, he should have made a name for himself long ago.
But the truth is, this person has always been unknown. Could it be that because his bald head is too round and lacks horns, he can't stand out? Just as everyone was racking their brains, a new video started playing. On screen, Saitama asked a few lackeys, and after learning Boros's specific location, he ran toward that direction.
Meanwhile, in the power room, Boros sat on his throne, his gaze fixed on the entrance ahead.
Chapter 24, The unspeakable Cthulhu-like eldritch horror has he come? Boros muttered on a whim.
No sooner had he finished speaking than he saw Saitama smash through the door and enter the power room.
Boros looked up and his pupils instantly constricted, for he saw Saitama's true nature.
His muscles were knotted, and the invincible force field emitted by his physical body was even warping space. Through Boros's perspective, the audience around the world saw Saitama's true form for the first time.
Everyone was instantly scared stiff. What the hell is this? Even through the screen, and even though Saitama was not intentionally targeting them, they still saw a large, blood-red character for death. This feeling was like having spiritual vision activated, inadvertently peeking at an unspeakable Cthulhu-like eldritch horror. It was terrifying as hell. Compared to the panic of the audience, Boros was the exact opposite. His eyes gleamed with excitement. Is he the representative of this planet? Truly unfathomable. To show respect, Boros took the initiative to leave his throne and stand up. Are you the boss of the invaders? On the other side, Saitama reverted to his bald egg art style and directly questioned Boros. Subarashii. Boros did not answer, but instead let out a heartfelt exclamation of admiration. Eh? Saitama was taken aback. Before we start fighting, state your name.
Boros introduced himself. I am the leader of the Dark Matter Thieves, and also the dominator of the universe, Boros.
Seeing that Boros was so polite, Saitama honestly replied, I am a hero for fun. No, that's not right. I am a professional hero named Saitama. Saikyo? Hearing this, Boros's interest was thoroughly piqued.
Saitama was a bit angry. Although I don't know what business you, the loser of the universe, have on Earth, you actually dared to destroy City A, unforgivable.
You ask what my business is? Because there was a prophecy.
Boros walked down the steps,
step by step, in his high-heeled boots. Saitama was confused. Prophecy? What prophecy? As he walked, Boros recalled the past. I once pillaged across the universe, but I was too strong.
Finally, one day, there was no one left who could oppose me, and I experienced the pain known as boredom. Just then, a fortune teller told me that on this distant planet, there was someone who could oppose me and bring me excitement.
That was 20 years ago. Do you know how much time I spent to get here?
Although my subordinates all thought that the prophecy was just a lie to get me to leave.
Boros grinned, his eyes burning with intensity, but the moment I saw you, I was convinced. Come on, let me feel the excitement. That is why I came.
Before he could finish speaking, Saitama's fist had already been thrown.
At the speed of light, creating a sonic boom. Bang!
In an instant, Boros flew backward like a cannonball, smashing into a giant stone pillar.
Dust filled the air, and his fate was unknown. Saitama's fist was smoking, his expression indifferent. Are you brain dead? To attack other planets just because you're bored and seeking excitement in life, even an office lady wouldn't think like that.
At this point, the video ended. But the audience around the world was still in shock.
The overlord who was invincible across the universe.
No wonder Boros, when faced with Saitama showing up at his door, didn't choose to run away or gather his subordinates to gang up on him, but instead waited quietly.
This was the mettle of the universe's dominator, and the confidence brought by being invincible across the universe. Although Saitama called Boros brain dead, I still admire his mettle.
He was willing to drift in the universe for 20 years just to come to Earth to find an opponent who could fight him.
20 years ago? Could it be that the fortune teller's prophecy wasn't about Saitama at all, but about Blast?
It's highly likely to be Blast, because 20 years ago, Saitama was probably only a few years old. Unless he was the reincarnation of the magic pill, he was just an ordinary child.
What a pity, I wanted to see more of Boros's performance.
I didn't expect him to be one-shot by that guy Saitama as soon as he finished his lines.
Looking at it this way, Saitama seems more like the big boss, and Boros seems more like the challenger.
Exactly, there hasn't been a single monster so far that could withstand a single punch from Saitama.
He's definitely the great demon king. I can only say that Boros was born at the wrong time.
He didn't encounter Blast, but instead encountered a bug-tier, stat-breaking monster.
Unlike the humans who felt sorry for Boros.
Joro of the Monster Association was full of interest in Boros's corpse.
If it could obtain Boros's corpse, it would be confident in creating a god-level monster.
By then, the world would usher in a true era of monsters.
Z-City Ghost Town.
To watch the video more conveniently, Tatsumaki, Saitama, and Genos formed a group, each moved a small stool, and sat on the rooftop. Although Tatsumaki was unwilling to be with the dead Baldy in her heart.
But after seeing Saitama's strength, Tatsumaki put away her contempt.
Because she really couldn't beat this bald egg who looked silly but was actually ridiculously strong. Of course, Tatsumaki was convinced in her heart, but not in her words. So whenever she got the chance, she would mock Saitama to satisfy her own perverted desires.
It just so happened that Saitama was an M, so the two of them hit it off.
Watching the two of them being so harmonious, Genos on the side showed a look of gratification. He was very happy that his teacher could make new friends. Ever since Tatsumaki arrived, his teacher had become much more lively, no longer as emotionally detached as before.
This is good. At this moment, the video played again.
On screen, Boros had been punched into the stone pillar by Saitama. Just when everyone thought he had kicked the bucket, a surprise occurred. As the smoke cleared, Boros walked out of the crater in the stone pillar, while the armor he was wearing shattered, revealing the lean blue muscles underneath. Boros said expressionlessly, "The armor used to seal my excessive power has now been shattered by you."
Oh.
Hearing this, Saitama's art style suddenly turned into a cartoon, so silly it was unbearable to look at.
In the whole world, probably only Tatsumaki approved of this art style. The two of them could be considered birds of a feather.
Seemingly sensing Saitama's impatience, Boros felt a surge of anger, feeling that he had been looked down upon.
If that's the case,
Boros released massive energy within his body, quickly filling his entire being.
In an instant, his skin turned dark blue.
Large muscles bulged on his back, his body size expanded, lightning flashed in his eyes, and his whole body erupted with a terrifying purple energy shockwave, the power of which was so fierce that even the ground shattered directly. But facing such a terrifying scene, that guy Saitama still maintained his cartoon art style. Compared to Boros's art style, Saitama looked particularly ridiculous, causing quite a few audience members to laugh.
Nuts! But laughter aside, the audience was still worried about Saitama. Boros was clearly getting serious. Could Saitama still remain invincible as before? And this question should be answered next. I'm coming for you.
Boros grinned maliciously, crushed the ground, turned into a beam of purple light, and charged fiercely at Saitama with lightning speed.
Chapter 25, Super Intense Battle.
Saitama vs. Boros. Facing the heavy punch launched by Boros, Saitama did not dodge, but blocked it with one hand.
Boom!
The moment their bodies made contact, a violent wave of air erupted, and the shockwave spread, causing the nearby stone pillars and the ground to crumble and crack. Seeing Saitama block its attack with one hand, the fighting spirit in Boros's eyes burned even brighter. Roaring, it unleashed a flurry of punches as fast as lightning, crazily striking Saitama. Every punch created a sonic boom, demonstrating the terrifying power behind them. But facing such a formidable Boros, Saitama remained expressionless, continued to raise his arm to block, and remained as immovable as a mountain.
Yes. That's it. Psycho.
Boros became more and more excited the longer it fought, and its power grew increasingly violent. Seeing that it still couldn't shake Saitama, it raised its power another notch and fiercely threw a punch with the force of a thunderbolt. Thud! This punch was heavy and powerful, enough to crush a Dragon Peak level monster, and it finally managed to shake Saitama, forcing him back dozens of meters. Subsequently, Boros grinned hideously, transformed into a streak of purple light once more, and rapidly pursued Saitama. On the other side, Saitama, having been knocked back, slammed on the brakes with his feet, instantly stabilizing his posture, then continued to move backward as if performing a moonwalk. Meanwhile, Boros, carrying overwhelming energy, continuously slammed into Saitama. Every collision between the two caused a violent earthquake in the engine room, and the overflowing violent shockwaves were enough to destroy a dragon-level monster. An S-class hero would be severely injured just by taking one hit. Perhaps Saitama's fighting spirit had been stirred by Boros. Or perhaps Boros' strength had finally earned Saitama's recognition. Thus, Saitama stopped blocking and chose to throw a punch instead, clashing head-on with Boros' fist. Rumble! After a thunderous roar, Saitama landed safely, still unscathed. On the other hand, Boros' right fist was shattered, bleeding profusely. Boros' eyes widened. Clearly, it was also shocked by Saitama's formidable power. To think you could push me, in my fully released state, to this extent. Hearing this, Saitama turned around, clenched his fist, and said, "Yeah, you're strong." With that, the video ended. At this moment, the world was silent. Whether humans or monsters, everyone was wearing an expression of disbelief. The battle between these two had completely transcended the category of a dragon-level disaster. If the two were to fight in a city, the shockwaves of their fight alone would be enough to destroy an entire city. By comparison, the battle between the four S-class heroes in Melzergard was too gentle. Atomic Samurai, hiss. Could this Boros really be a god-level monster? How is its combat power so heaven-defying? Saitama too, these two, they're practically beasts. Silver Fong, if it weren't for Saitama, if it were just us, we would probably really be speedrun by Boros alone. Flashy Flash, be more confident. Remove the probably. With that freakish speed of Boros, except for me who can barely keep up, not a single S-class hero can keep up. Child Emperor, it's too terrifying. If not for the slow motion in the video, I wouldn't have been able to see their fight at all. Super Alloy Darkshine, it seems Saitama really is stronger than King. Facing a Boros comparable to a god-level monster, he can not only contend with it but also tear off one of its arms. Too amazing. Metal Knight, according to my big data analysis, Boros' combat power is the strongest among all current monsters, but I can be certain it has still not reached the god level. Zombieman, so you're saying Boros is a demigod? Metal Knight, something like that. Higher than Dragon Peak level, but lower than god level. Calling it a demigod is reasonable. Prisoner, then what about Saitama? What level is he exactly? Metal Knight, cannot analyze. Watchdog Man, I smell the scent of my own kind on Saitama. Tatsumaki, I'll temporarily admit that Baldy is the strongest in the world, but I will continue to work hard to get stronger. One day, I will surpass him and take back the title of world's strongest that belongs to me. Genos, I will also keep working hard to catch up to Master's footsteps as soon as possible. Compared to the lively heroes, the monsters were trembling. Dragon-level monsters as arrogant as Orochi, Black Sperm, and Guketsu were all silent at this moment. Whether it was Saitama or Boros, both possessed the power to destroy the Monster Association. It seems I must find strong reinforcements. In Joro's mind, the image of the Ninja King flashed, along with the ninjas from the Ninja Village. Using monster cells as bargaining chips, it should be able to recruit a group of powerful ninjas. Compared to the Monster Association's method of seeking external aid, Garou, relying on his super talent, gradually found the threshold of the limiter through the grueling practice of Saitama's training method. Of course, there was still a long way to go before breaking it. However, he was confident he could do it.
Saitama. Boros. One day, I, Garou, will defeat you both.
Just as Garou was daydreaming, the highly anticipated new video started playing.
As soon as the screen appeared, an incredibly hype BGM struck. Immediately after, there was a dazzling offensive and defensive battle.
In just this 1 second, Boros and Saitama had collided 10,000 times. Every moment of collision inevitably overflowed with battle shockwaves like lightning, thunder, sonic booms, earthquakes, and impacts.
Bang 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 bang.
Wherever the two passed, countless giant stone pillars were punched through and smashed, leaving a scene of devastation.
Ultimately, Boros's combat experience proved superior. It seized the opportunity to throw a full-power punch, sending Saitama flying hundreds of meters. Saitama's body smashed through a dozen stone pillars, finally becoming embedded in the last one.
Boros seized the chance to pursue, accelerated in a charge, pierced through the stone pillar, powered up its legs, and violently kicked Saitama's body.
Boom!
Its destructive power was as terrifying as a nuclear explosion. All stone pillars within a 1,000-meter radius completely crumbled.
Such exaggerated power left the audience completely dumbfounded.
What was even more exaggerated was that Saitama, having taken this hit, was still unscathed. Seeing Saitama's performance, Boros's fighting spirit was completely ignited, the energy within its body boiled, and its power actually rose another level. Boros grinned wildly, throwing thousands of punch shadows in a second with one arm, chasing after Saitama, bombarding him continuously, punching through the ceiling of the engine room, and charging all the way up, punching a huge hole in the spaceship. The two landed, standing at the very top of the spaceship, separated by 100 meters, facing each other from
a distance.
At this time, Saitama was covered in wounds all over, looking disheveled, but he still maintained his bald egg art style. On the other hand, the energy radiating from Boros was becoming more and more terrifying, like a moving nuclear reactor. Seeing that after taking so many of its attacks, Saitama's clothes were only slightly dirty, Boros couldn't help but exclaim, "You really are strong. You are the first guy who can be evenly matched with me. Ha ha ha." Boros laughed up at the sky, then a pillar of blue energy erupted from its entire body, shooting straight into the sky. "Next, I am going to release the massive energy within my body. Any small fry will turn to dust upon the slightest contact." Massive energy gathered in front of its chest, and a hideous smile appeared on Boros's face. "Psycho. Don't you dare die." As soon as the words fell, a world-destroying beam of energy instantly blasted toward Saitama. Chapter 26, Will he win? Saitama goes to the moon. Boom. The energy cannon engulfed Saitama, followed by an earth-shattering explosion. The terrifying shockwave that spread out even dispersed the clouds. The explosion swept through half the spaceship, creating a sea of fire, and countless rooftop structures were reduced to ashes. Standing in the center of the sea of fire, Saitama stood up as if nothing had happened, still maintaining his bald egg style. A fire-roasted bald egg, this scene almost made people hungry. "I'm behind you." Boros had clearly been hungry for a long time. He actually flashed behind Saitama and threw a full power punch, intending to smash this bald egg. Bang! The shockwave generated by the fist striking the face formed a violent gale, instantly blowing away the sea of fire. This punch was effective. It seems the outcome is about to be revealed. Boros retreated several meters, looking at Saitama with his head tilted to one side, and said with a smug expression. Saitama still maintained the tilted head posture, but observant viewers noticed that his art style had switched to serious. Under this art style, Saitama was clearly about to get serious. Unfortunately, Boros didn't notice at all and was still there chattering away. Our race survived the harsh environment of our home planet by going through life and death competition, which allowed us to cultivate the universe's #1 natural healing ability. And when it comes to natural healing, physical function, and latent energy, I am at the very top. Fatal wounds to you can be recovered in just a few seconds. As long as I concentrate my energy and greatly increase my healing ability, a severed arm can be restored to its original state. As he spoke, Boros even demonstrated it himself, and a new arm really grew out instantly. By contrast, your wounds will only increase, and your stamina will gradually decrease. Boros grinned. In the end, your only outcome is At this point, the video ended. After watching this video, all of humanity felt their scalps tingle, as if falling into an ice cellar.
Boros actually possesses an immortal body? Worse still, the invincible Saitama seemed to be suppressed by Boros.
Because looking at the battle situation, it had always been Boros attacking, while Saitama was only passively defending. Furthermore, Saitama was now covered in wounds. Compared to the currently unscathed Boros, he was clearly at a distinct disadvantage.
Could it be that Saitama is really going to lose? Boros's stats are too abnormal, and he has an immortal body. He could wear Saitama down to death. It seems that in this battle, Saitama will most likely lose. At the thought that Saitama was about to lose, countless people were immediately devastated and felt down. Inside the screen chat box. Super Alloy Darkshine, I don't know if I could withstand this level of battle. Metal Bat, if Saitama really loses, do we have any chance of winning when we face Boros in the future? Silver Fawn, Saitama did his best.
It's just that Boros is too strong. After all, he was able to train in the universe, so his upper limit must be higher than Saitama's. Atomic Samurai, yeah, if Saitama could also go to the universe to train, maybe he could defeat Boros, but unfortunately, Tatsumaki, I don't believe Baldy will lose. Even if he were to lose, it could only be at my hands.
Genos, that's right, Master will never lose. I believe in Master. Prisoner, by the way, where is Blast? He should be the one Boros is looking for.
Child Emperor, if Blast doesn't come out, from now on we can only look to King Nut.
King, thump 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 thump, because Boros's strength was too overwhelming, all of humanity and monsters were panic-stricken. If Saitama really loses, then who else on Earth can stop Boros? King? Blast? I don't know.
It was precisely because of this that everyone felt lost.
Right now, they could only pray that Saitama could hold on. They weren't asking him to defeat Boros, just to hold out until he wasn't defeated. Bald Big Brother, do your best. At this moment, the whole world was cheering for Saitama, wishing they could lend him their light too. Little did they know, they were cheering for the wrong thing. Z-City Ghost Town.
Looking at Boros, who could fight him for so long, Saitama, sitting on a small stool, suddenly stood up. At this moment, he felt his blood boiling, with an urge to meet up that he couldn't wait for.
Boros, is it? I hope you can come soon, I'm waiting for you.
Genos, who was on the side, heard this passionate confession from Saitama and immediately fell to the ground. But soon, he was shaken again, quickly took out his notebook, and lay on the ground to record it. Heroes should not fear failure. Heroes are meant to persist in doing the right thing even when no one is optimistic about them.
Naruhodo. Master, I understand. Looking at the self-imagining Genos, Saitama was speechless.
Tatsumaki, on the other hand, heard this and
glanced at Saitama with some surprise. This guy, was he actually so profound? Unaccountably, Tatsumaki developed a bit of interest in Saitama.
Perhaps she could put aside her prejudice and get to know this man better. At this moment, a new video started.
In the screen. Shut up. Saitama slowly straightened his head. Hearing this, Boros's pupils shrank. Saitama, with a gloomy face, said in a low voice, blah blah blah, you're done fighting, right? Looking at Saitama's impatient gaze, Boros was stunned on the spot. Was he being looked down upon? He couldn't believe that Saitama, who had been suppressed and beaten by him all along, would dare to look down on him?
In an instant, an emotion called anger quickly surged into his heart.
No, of course it's not over.
Boros opened his eyes wide in anger, clenched his fists tightly, released his internal energy at maximum power, and purple flames immediately burned all over his body.
Boom!
A massive amount of purple energy poured out, turning into a hemispherical force field that enveloped Boros, like a purple sun shining. At the same time, Boros's appearance also changed drastically. His deep blue skin turned into purple skin, his short hedgehog hair turned into long purple hair, and mysterious patterns spread all over his body.
Meteoric burst.
Boros roared, stomped on the ground to dash, and burst out with a sublight speed that surprised Saitama, then threw a punch toward his face.
Boom!
This punch from Boros was world-destroying. The resulting shockwave directly destroyed half of the spaceship's top, and countless minions were caught in it, instantly turning to ashes.
Clearly, this punch had reached city-destroying level. In the process of Saitama flying backward at near light speed, Boros just took a quick step and instantly caught up to Saitama. Immediately after, there was a series of sublight speed barrages, bombing Saitama frantically from all directions. Wherever the two went, everything was annihilated and melted by the shockwave generated by the sublight speed. Using the release of internal energy as propulsion, and with speed that transcends biological limits, unleashing power, Boros grabbed Saitama's cape and kept spinning him like a windmill in midair. Because the rotation speed was too fast, the two formed a light sphere similar to quantum entanglement. The next second, Boros threw Saitama away, rushed to the top of Saitama at sublight speed, clasped his hands into a hammer, and slammed down heavily on Saitama's body. It wasn't over yet. Just as Saitama was falling, Boros circled to the bottom at light speed again, then accelerated at maximum power, unleashing a super light speed knee strike that accurately hit Saitama's stomach. Thump! Violet energy poured out, forming a thunderstorm force field all around. Boros's knee strike exerted sudden force, directly sending Saitama flying into the sky, turning into a beam of purple light that broke through the ozone layer and flew out into outer space. In the end, Saitama slammed onto the surface of the moon. At this point, the video ended. Chapter 27, Do Your Best, Big Brother Who Flies the Spaceship Nanny? He needs Saitama all the way to the moon? May I ask the Hero Association, what level does this state of Boros count as? This kind of combat power, so-called dragon-level monster, is not even fit to carry Boros's shoes. This Boros is way too overpowered. By the way, now that Saitama has landed on the moon, can he even come back? Boros's formidable performance made the whole world's scalp tingle. If this is the final outcome of the future Boros vs Saitama, then the fate of the Earth is truly doomed. Not to mention anything else, aside from Saitama, absolutely no one can withstand this combo from Boros. If Saitama cannot return to Earth, or if he returns too late, all of humanity might be wiped out by Boros in one go. People even seriously suspect that Boros possesses the power to destroy a planet. If he fires one shot directly at the surface, humanity's fate will instantly enter a countdown. By then, even if Saitama returns, it will be of no use. For a time, everyone was in danger. In the screen chat box, Silver Phone, demigod-level monster, truly terrifyingly strong. Atomic Samurai, what a pity. Saitama was hit to the moon, which means Boros has no opponents left on Earth. Child Emperor, if he is on the moon, unless we send a spaceship to pick him up, but the problem is, there is no oxygen on the moon, and Saitama might not last that long. Genos, I believe Master will not die. Sweet Mask, Genos-kun, don't copy the Darkshine routine of always having Saitama on your lips. You are an S-class hero, not Saitama's sidekick. Tatsumaki, you bastard Baldy, why do you keep taking hits without fighting back? Saitama, go ask the future me. In fact, Saitama vaguely realized his own thoughts in the future. It was rare to encounter a true powerhouse. He hoped to give the other party a chance to unleash their full potential, and incidentally, see if they could ignite his own fighting spirit. What Saitama wanted was never just the thrill of battle, but that moment that could make his heart race and trigger a resonance of the soul. Only at this moment could Saitama feel that surging emotion and regain his former passionate self. The video continued. In the footage, upon arriving on the moon's surface, Saitama looked around at the dead silence, suddenly feeling unable to breathe, and hurriedly pinched his nose to hold his breath. Suddenly, he picked up a rock, weighed it in his hand, and nodded with satisfaction. The audience was confused. What was Saitama doing? Could this guy be calculating gravity? Calculating this is useless anyway. Can you really break through gravity and fly back to Earth? No, buddy, stop messing around. But the next scene refreshed the world's perception and left countless people dumbfounded. Saitama aimed toward the Earth, then bent his legs and kicked off the ground with force. Boom! The originally silent vacuum actually resounded with a muffled thunder. Saitama's terrifying explosive power stomped a giant crater into the moon's surface, and he used this reactive force to rush toward Earth at the speed of light. Finally, he landed precisely on top of the spaceship. Bang! It was like Mount Tai pressing down, causing the entire spaceship to tilt. If not for the sturdy materials of the spaceship, it would have been pierced through by the landing Saitama. Seeing the spaceship suddenly tilt, the S-class heroes below were immediately startled. Unaware of the situation, they thought Tatsumaki's previous attack had taken effect. Silver Fong wondered, "It tipped?" Darkshine exclaimed in surprise, "It worked, it worked." "Amazing, Tatsumaki-chan." On the other hand, Tatsumaki blinked her cute big eyes, looking bewildered. Was it really her doing? On the other side. Watching Saitama return safely, Boros widened his eyes in disbelief. Maintaining this form was like doing anaerobic exercise. It placed a huge burden on his body and caused a rapid reduction in lifespan. This was his ultimate move, a trump card used only when he needed to end a battle quickly. Under normal circumstances, he would never use it for more than 2.5 minutes. But now, Saitama, walking out of the smoke, looked around, his face happy. "Oh, I'm back. For this man, I am willing to give my all and sacrifice everything." Boros roared while charging towards Saitama without hesitation. At this moment, a tragic and passionate background music started, instantly infecting everyone watching. Look, are these lines a villain should have? Compared to Boros, who was burning himself out. The expressionless Saitama at this moment looked more like the big villain. Somehow, the audience's stance quietly changed. Some children without concepts of good and evil, including Garou, were quietly cheering for Boros in their hearts. Do your best. Big brother who flies the spaceship. As if hearing the children's cheers, Boros sublimated to his limit, turning into a beam of light, launching a multi-directional assault on Saitama. However, no matter how fiercely Boros attacked, he could not break through Saitama's defense. Instead, because his attacks were too frequent, he neglected himself and accidentally revealed a flaw. Saitama did not let this opportunity pass. His fist broke through the air, instantly hitting Boros in the abdomen. Thud! Boros flew backward like a cannonball, his feet dragging a trench into the ground before he stopped. Put! Although Boros was severely injured and spitting blood, his fighting spirit rose even higher, and he wore a genuine smile. "That's right, Saikyo, only someone like you is worth me going all out to defeat." Consecutive normal punches. However, before Boros could finish speaking, Saitama teleported in front of him, throwing countless punches at the speed of light. Bang! In an instant, Boros was blown apart, exploding like a watermelon, with pieces of his body and blood splattering everywhere, leaving only one eye containing his energy core. Ugh! That eye revealed a look of shock. But soon, the eye turned black, the energy core exploded from overload, and with the support of massive energy, Boros instantly resurrected in midair. At this moment, the intense background music pushed the atmosphere to its peak. "You shall be defeated by me." Boros roared at the sky, his entire body erupting with a world-destroying energy field, lightning and thunder raging, as if the apocalypse had arrived. "Releasing all energy to destroy you along with the planet's surface." The terrifying energy poured out, the outer layer of the spaceship slowly melted, and the heavens and earth changed color. Thump! The sound of a heartbeat rang out, and Boros shouted at Saitama. Collapsing star. Roaring cannon. Boom! A golden blue beam of energy shot out from Boros's mouth, rushing towards Saitama. Feeling Boros's resolve, Saitama finally got serious and said slowly, "Since that's the case, I'll use my ultimate move too. Killer move, Serious Series. Serious Punch." Saitama clenched his fist, meeting the incoming energy cannon, and fiercely threw a punch. Boom! The fist broke through the energy cannon, the terrifying shockwave pierced through Boros, and without losing momentum, continued to pierce through Earth's atmosphere. At this moment, the scene shifted, and the camera pulled back. One could see that the Earth's atmosphere had been split in two, as if parted down the middle. This scene couldn't help but make people think of a certain old friend. Chapter 28, Saitama has great love, and also a great illness after everything returned to calm. A weak voice sounded from the top of the now-ruined spaceship. Did I lose? At this moment, half of Boros's body had vanished, his entire frame withered like kindling, lying there on the verge of death. As for the energy core on his chest, it had been completely shattered during the previous impact. Now, only a final sliver of energy remained within Boros to sustain his life. Once this bit of energy was exhausted, it would be the moment of Boros's true demise. You're still conscious? You really are strong. Saitama, who had originally intended to leave, turned his head upon hearing this and looked at Boros. Although his tone was calm, his expression was very serious. This was his respect for a strong opponent, and also his acknowledgement of Boros. Boros's voice was as thin as a thread, just as the prophecy said, this was an evenly matched battle. Yeah, that's right. Saitama turned away to hide his lie. In truth, Saitama was not skilled at lying. But at this moment, in order to let this respectable opponent depart in peace, he did not hesitate to go against his own principles. This scene struck a chord in many people's hearts. For the first time, the audience discovered that hidden beneath this bald egg was great love. Compared to that invincible strength, the audience was even more moved by Saitama's great love. Even some anti-fans changed their views on Saitama, turning from haters to fans. Boros also saw through Saitama's lie and thus mocked himself, "You're lying. You clearly still had strength to spare, while I had no ability to fight back, and in fact, this didn't even count as a battle. Had. The prophecy is unreliable after all, you were just too strong." Psycho. Saitama fell silent, his face hidden in shadow, and then, without a word, he slowly walked away. Perhaps he was using this method to mourn and bid farewell to this respectable opponent. Feeling the respect offered by Saitama, a satisfied smile curled onto the corner of Boros's mouth. As the last bit of energy was exhausted, Boros's life force completely dissipated, officially declaring his demise. And along with Boros's demise, the spaceship's power sphere also shattered. Thus, the video ended. When the audience finished watching this scene, they couldn't help but be filled with mixed emotions. They were happy that Saitama defeated Boros. At the same time, they were also filled with emotion over Boros's curtain call. Willing to trek through the universe for 20 years, just to find that one opponent who could fight him. What kind of obsession was this? Furthermore, the unyielding spirit and courage Boros displayed while fighting Saitama with all his might left countless people stunned. For a fleeting moment, they even regarded Boros as a hero challenging a demon king. This is the only strong person recognized by Saitama. A man, a true man. Damn, I actually feel sad and want to cry over the end of an enemy. I have never seen such a passionate villain. Boros. I, Garou, am willing to call you the strongest monster. True man Boros, although your strength was not equal to Saitama's, that unyielding spirit and the resolve to fight. Until the very last moment, knowing you would die, truly moved me. I'm a bit curious, where exactly is Saitama's limit? Even someone as strong as the semi-god level Boros didn't seem to be able to force out his full power. After watching this battle, I belatedly remembered just how powerful that mosquito from before was. It could actually toy with Saitama, and Saitama had no way to deal with it. That mosquito is probably the Saitama of the insect world. As the saying goes, kings do not meet kings, avoiding my sharp edge, which is why Saitama couldn't do anything about the mosquito. Discussing until the end, everyone reached a shocking conclusion. The mosquito is the true strongest in the world. Seeing the power level fans discussing so excitedly, those fans of Saitama's character were not pleased. Compared to Saitama's combat power, these people were actually more concerned with Saitama's character and his emotional life. Just like passers-by who love to gossip about celebrities' private lives. Isn't there a saying, start with looks, get trapped by strength, and be loyal to character? Although Saitama doesn't have looks, he has strength and character. From Saitama's attitude toward Boros, one can see he is a person with great love. Of course, he also has a great illness, often acting abstractly. Let's just call the illness love. What is the daily life of such a person like? Everyone was very curious. Why was Saitama always obscure before? And, what about when he said his emotions had disappeared? The audience really wanted to know these things. Compared to everyone's intense curiosity about Saitama, the god hiding in the shadows hoped that Saitama would not notice him. Before, seeing Boros ni Saitama onto the moon, the god couldn't hold back and cursed Baka on the spot.
Fortunately, at that time, Saitama was focused entirely on Boros, and added to the fact that sound cannot travel on the moon, he did not discover the anomaly on the far side of the moon. Otherwise, the god would probably have had to pack up and run. After realizing the danger Saitama posed, the god secretly cast 2 portions of divine power onto Earth, intending to create a few semi-god level monsters to divert Saitama's attention. In the end, 1 portion of divine power was obtained by the Ninja King. As for the other portion of divine power, it waited for an opportunity, secretly searching for a suitable host. A city, Hero Association headquarters. After the executives finished watching Saitama's performance, they immediately felt that Earth's safety was secure. With Saitama guarding Earth, who would dare to cause trouble? Unless a god-level monster appeared. Even if a god-level monster appeared, it might not be able to beat Saitama. Not convinced? The earth-splitting punch will teach you a lesson. By comparison, everyone now wanted to know what benefits the Hero Association headquarters would give Saitama after he defeated Boros. They couldn't possibly give him no benefits, right? If they did that, the Hero Association would be roasted by the whole world. Just then, a new video began to play. In the image, as the power sphere shattered, the spaceship, having lost its energy support, also began to fall. Tatsumaki asked in surprise, "It's falling down? Did teacher do it?" Genos' first reaction was Saitama. At this moment, inside the spaceship, alien cannon fodder hugged each other and cried, and a Wyndham was mixed in among them. The snail person was even more absurd, directly shouting, "Mom, I want to go home." It made the audience laugh outright. On the other side, seeing the spaceship falling rapidly, Bang and the others immediately ran for it. Watching the figures of the heroes fleeing in a sorry state, especially the bare-bottomed prisoner, the audience laughed even more unrestrainedly. One can only say, there are still many people in the world who love to watch the fun. Perhaps this is also a kind of emotional release after a crisis. Boom! After a deafening, earth-shaking roar, the spaceship completely smashed into the ground, planting a mushroom cloud and kicking up dust that filled the sky. After everything settled down, several S-class heroes prepared to go over and investigate. An MI mask had also arrived at the scene by now. Bang, bang, bang. From a corner of the spaceship wreckage, a series of rumbling sounds suddenly came. Tatsumaki, floating in mid-air, immediately frowned and looked toward the location where the sound came from. Boom! The next second, Saitama was seen kicking open the outer wall of the spaceship and walking out, his clothes tattered. "Hey, why would you, a B-class, come out from inside the spaceship?" Tatsumaki flew in front of Saitama, questioning him with a look of surprise and disgust. "Teacher, are you all right?" Just then, Genos ran over quickly, looking at Saitama with a face full of concern. Seeing his beloved disciple arrive, Saitama naturally ignored Tatsumaki. "Oh, Genos, it's over, let's go home. Did you take care of the enemy leader?" "Yeah, he was very strong. He is the strongest monster I have encountered so far." "I see, if teacher hadn't acted, Earth might have really been done for, just as the prophecy said." The prophecy or whatever, it was unreliable from the start. Seeing Saitama and Genos being all lovey-dovey and completely ignoring her, Tatsumaki instantly lost her cool. Always the center of attention, when had she ever suffered such slight? And to be slighted by a B-class dead baldy at that. She couldn't stand it at all. Must fight him. Chapter 29, Shipping the Genos, Tatsumaki, and Saitama Love Triangle? "Stop right there!" Tatsumaki shouted, her voice cracking as she gritted her teeth. Saitama and Genos, who were chatting happily, stopped in their tracks and turned around with surprised expressions. What is this little green-haired fairy throwing a tantrum for now?
Tatsumaki was in a rage and immediately started yelling at Saitama. Never mind how you managed it, but how dare you barge in alone? Don't get cocky just because you're a mere Class B. I could have handled it without you. Baldy. Octopus. Boiled egg. Light bulb. Avocado. You idiot. Under the Gatling gun-like barrage of Tatsumaki's insults, Saitama was left speechless and depressed, with black lines running down his face. Seeing that Tatsumaki was still going on a rampage and showed no signs of stopping, Saitama couldn't take it anymore. But since he didn't want to insult a girl himself, he egged Genos on to teach her a lesson. Genos, you go talk to her. Understood. Genos raised his head, his expression grim and his tone low. Hey, you brat, shut your mouth and get lost, or I will eliminate you. Saitama stood behind him looking smug, acting like a total idiot, raising his fist to cheer Genos on. Well said, well said. Seeing this, the audience was once again amused and annoyed by Saitama's derpy look. Where was that art style from after you defeated Boros? At the very least, use the serious art style. With so many cool art styles to choose from, you just had to pick the derpy one. You really are sick in the head. Just as the audience was losing all hope in Saitama's aesthetic sense, Tatsumaki demonstrated to everyone what artistic aesthetics really look like. In the blink of an eye, Genos, who had been shouting just a second ago, was embedded directly into the wall, becoming a world-class masterpiece. The audience exclaimed that such body art was absolutely beautiful, and told Saitama he should take notes. How dare you call me a brat? I won't forgive you, I am older than you. Tatsumaki's pretty face was cold, and her psychic power surged violently, exerting a powerful pressure. Genos? Saitama looked worried. You're next, Class B. Just as Tatsumaki was about to attack Saitama, Silver Fawn walked over in time and interrupted. Stop it, Tatsumaki, you are a hero representing the Hero Association. Humph. Consider yourself lucky. Tatsumaki glared fiercely at Saitama, then flew away, extremely unwilling. With that, the video ended. Watching this comedic scene, everyone was amused by this pair of rivals, Tatsumaki and Saitama. Some hopeless romantics even started shipping the two on the spot. Of course, there were also those shipping Genos and Tatsumaki, since they were indeed a good match in terms of appearance. The most perverted ones were those shipping the love triangle of Saitama, Genos, and Tatsumaki, calling it, the triangle is the most stable structure. Is there any morality left? Any sense of shame? Is there anyone else joining in? As for Silver Fawn? Sorry, you should be under the car. If it weren't for you old geezer stepping in to stop them, Saitama and Tatsumaki surely would have sparked more fireworks. You, an old guy with no sense of the situation, still want to join their love triangle? Do you deserve it? Do you think you're playing some creepy father cosplay? Of course, this was just the audience's internal venting. They still respected Silver Fawn very much. It was just that Silver Fawn's good intentions leading to bad results this time made quite a few trolls unhappy. Inside the screen chat box. Atomic Samurai, Silver Fawn, it's a good thing you intervened in time and saved Tatsumaki, otherwise the consequences would have been unimaginable. Tatsumaki should kowtow to you. Silver Fawn, no need to be so nervous. Saitama may be strong, but he wouldn't bully the weak, and besides, Tatsumaki is a girl. No matter what, Saitama wouldn't lay a hand on her. Tatsumaki, you old geezer, who are you calling weak? Do you believe I'll rip your beard off? Prisoner, Genos-kun, I have to say, you are so artistic. Every time you get embedded in a wall, it turns into modern art. Genos, I am a cyborg, I don't have cells. Sweet mask, Genos-kun, you have disappointed me so much. Metal Bat, Sweet Mask, you use the same line on Genos every time, aren't you sick of it? Sweet Mask, Delinquent Bat, my name is Sweet Mask, not Mask Sweet. Sitch, alright, everyone is a hero, don't fight among yourselves, so as not to be laughed at by the public. Also, in the future, everyone should be more respectful to Saitama-kun, he is now the ace of our hero association. King, Z City, some dilapidated rental apartment. Looking at the katana in his hand, Sonic was lost in thought. Saitama, can I really defeat him and avenge the injury to my manhood? Sonic was deeply confused by this. Thinking of Boros's miserable state, Sonic felt both fear and relief. At least his high-level equipment was still there, even if it was a bit damaged. That was still better than Boros, who lost his entire lower body. Z City, Ghost Town. Monster Association, Underground Headquarters. Joro, Orochi, Black Sperm, Goketsu, and various monster executives were silent at this moment. If before, their alliance was to seize control of the Earth, now, after seeing Saitama's performance, they no longer held any hope. They couldn't beat him, they simply couldn't beat him. The best choice was to hide whenever they saw Saitama, to hide as far away as possible, and preferably never meet again. But Joro was unwilling, or rather, Psychos was unwilling. Especially whenever she saw Tatsumaki, she would think of Fubuki, who had betrayed her in the past. Therefore, she was unwilling to give up just like that. I have waited for 3 years just to wait for an opportunity. It's not to prove that I'm amazing, I just want to tell others that I will personally take back what I have lost. Keep watching the video on the screen, I don't believe I can't find a weakness in Saitama from it. A City, Hero Association Headquarters. Six saw in the video that the association headquarters hadn't given Saitama any rewards, and it seemed they hadn't explored the interior of the spaceship either. This made him break out in a cold sweat. No way? They really didn't give Saitama any reward? Which genius made this decision? Letting a hero not get the reward of justice? Isn't this chilling the hearts of the heroes? Damn it, a bunch of useless people sitting in high positions. Z City, Ghost Town. Saitama's apartment. After watching this video, Saitama put away his small stool and returned to his room silently. The fall of Boros left him feeling quite down. Because from now on, he had one less opponent he could fight. Genos followed closely behind, but his admiration for Saitama deepened. Not arrogant in victory, not discouraged in defeat, this was the true demeanor of a strong person. When he could achieve being humble in victory, and never being careless, only then could he barely keep up with his teacher's pace. Otherwise, constantly holding his teacher back would be very embarrassing. And speaking of embarrassment, Tatsumaki was the most embarrassed one on the scene. She had wanted to teach Saitama a lesson, but in the end, she discovered that the clown was herself. Whether in the video or in reality, she was magnificently ignored by Saitama. Damn Baldy, no, I must get back at him, I must figure out why he is so strong. Thinking of this, Tatsumaki didn't care whether Saitama agreed or not and just stayed at his place, refusing to leave. I've got you figured out, so what? Chapter 30, Tatsumaki is amused by Saitama's poverty. Hey! Who told you that you could just move into my place? Saitama was 10,000 times unwilling about Tatsumaki forcing her way into his home. He was already poor to begin with, so how could he afford to support an extra freeloader? You're not the landlord of this building, and I'm going to stay here. Let's see what you can do about it. After saying this, Tatsumaki snatched the potato chips and manga from Saitama's hands and began reading on her own. Hey, Genos, say something to her for me. Saitama had no other choice and had to ask Genos for help. Just as Genos was about to stand up for his teacher, he saw green light beginning to emanate from Tatsumaki's entire body. At that moment, Genos recalled the fear of being dominated by Tatsumaki in the video, and the words that had just reached his lips were swallowed back down. He looked at Saitama helplessly. Teacher, I. Saitama sighed, sigh. Sorry, I forgot that she turned you into human body art. You little blondie, ridiculous, simply ridiculous. Seeing that she had successfully suppressed the two of them, Tatsumaki looked smug and arrogant. Saitama never hit women, but letting Tatsumaki stay in his home and sponge off his food and drink wasn't a sustainable solution. Saitama was a bit distressed, his brain ran at high speed as he tried to find a solution. So, he drew circles on top of his head with his finger, attempting to find inspiration. Ha! Got it. Just then, a ding sound was heard. Saitama's head lit up like a light bulb, and then he presented his demands to Tatsumaki. If you want to stay at my place, that's fine, but the condition is that you have to help with the chores. If you don't want to do chores, that's fine too, just pay me. After all, you can't just eat and drink for free.
Upon hearing this demand, Tatsumaki immediately gnashed her teeth in anger. For a delicate beauty like me to stay at your place is a blessing for you, you dead baldy, and I haven't even charged you for it yet. This dead baldy is actually turning the tables and trying to charge me money. It's absolutely detestable.
No matter what, I will not compromise today. Fine. I'll pay.
Tatsumaki glared fiercely at Saitama, then pulled a large stack of cash from beneath her interdimensional skirt and tossed it in front of him.
This move by Tatsumaki left Saitama completely stunned. Is this woman a human ATM? Or could it be that this is her financial superpower? Genos, who was on the side, observed the details carefully. His electronic eyes saw through Tatsumaki's secret. Teacher, she might also be able to manipulate space, or she possesses a space-related item. What is that? Upon hearing this, Saitama suddenly realized.
Genos's guess was correct. The split-tail dress that Tatsumaki was wearing was a space-related item, and it stored a large amount of things inside. This was also the reason why she seemed like she wasn't wearing any underwear. It was because the spatial power of this dress had already concealed her important parts. And the person who infused the spatial power into the dress was, naturally, Blast. The purpose was for Tatsumaki to use it to save her life.
In the original work, Elder Centipede's extinction cannon could even shave off a layer of the Earth's crust, yet it couldn't tear apart Tatsumaki's dress. This was the reason.
Realizing that Tatsumaki was a rich woman and generous with her money, Saitama immediately changed his expression, sweeping away his previous disdain, and his attitude became incredibly attentive.
Welcome, welcome. Saitama even took out his treasured happy water to treat Tatsumaki as a sign of welcome. This move by Saitama instantly left Tatsumaki bewildered. Hey, can you have a little bit of the pride of a powerhouse? You can be settled with just a little bit of money? She was truly amused by Saitama's poverty.
Genos, on the side, also laughed. However, his was a smile of relief. Ever since the teacher met Tatsumaki, his emotions had become much richer than before.
This is good. Just as Saitama and Tatsumaki were playing house.
Countless people in the outside world also wanted to further understand this bald man who was clearly weird, but absurdly strong.
I really want to know about Saitama's daily life. What kind of person is an invincible man like Saitama in private? Could he have two faces? A tough guy on the surface, but a softie in private?
The post above smells too much like fandom culture, please tone it down.
I really want to know. Humanity's curiosity. About Saitama, due to the signal being too strong, finally alerted the screen.
Thus, the screen complied with public opinion and exposed a video of Saitama's daily life.
In the footage,
Hammerhead was leading his bald henchman, giving a speech on the street protesting work.
Why must we work? Why do we have to pay to eat? Wouldn't it be better if everyone shared everything equally?
The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. What freedom is there to talk about in this kind of world?
Aren't we all being shackled by labor? Is working happy? No.
We will never work in this life, so this world will be changed by me, Hammerhead, letting those who are willing to work support those who are not. I want to build such a utopia, to be realized by the Utopia group led by me, Hammerhead. Unfortunately, Hammerhead's impassioned speech not only failed to gain attention, but he was instead treated like a fool by passers-by.
Boss, nobody is listening to us. Nanny? Hammerhead gritted his teeth. Damn it, what stupid people. Let's go. First, let's tear down the home of Zenairu, the richest man in City F.
After saying this, Hammerhead took a group of people and charged toward the target in a grand procession.
Outside, countless viewers were confused. Who is this guy?
They wanted to see Saitama, not to watch some bald guy.
Although Saitama is also one, is it the same thing? As if hearing the dissatisfaction of the audience, the scene in the video changed, coming to Saitama's apartment. Ah! Don't play rock paper scissors with me using a hand with boogers on it. The audience had just entered and saw Saitama acting crazy, almost losing their composure. It's the same familiar weird style, it's great. In the footage. After being woken up by a nightmare, Saitama went to the living room to wash his face and brush his teeth, habitually turning on the TV to watch the news. At this moment, the female anchor on TV was reporting, recently, criminals running amok in City F. Calling themselves the Utopia Group have destroyed several high-rise buildings in City F. The city is now in chaos. Just now, we have identified the leader of the criminal group, who is the B-class bounty criminal Hammerhead. Prior to this person has caused many violent incidents. According to a message sent to the TV station by the Utopia Group, they will continue to riot until they build a world where people can have their food, clothing, housing, and transportation guaranteed even without working. While rinsing his mouth, Saitama thought, I probably don't need to step in this time. When going out, if you see bald people, please stay away from them immediately. Hearing this, Saitama's art style became grotesque, cold sweat pouring down, his face full of horror. Nah. Nani? Then doesn't that mean I'm caught in the crossfire too? I finally became a hero, and with them causing such a ruckus, won't I be mistaken for a bad guy too? Realizing the seriousness of the problem, Saitama hurriedly put on his hero suit, clashed his fists together, his face full of murderous intent. Beat them to death. With that, the video ended. That's it for today. Meet you in next part. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. It really helps the channel grow. Your support means everything, so hit that button and let me know what you want to see next.